So let's go ahead and get started, okay? Your underlying energy is the Seven of Wands, okay? So this is talking about, you know, confidence and being defensive. Now, I understand, especially after last week or your monthly reading, actually, y'all had one heck of a reading. It was not easy. Whatever y'all were going through, it was honestly, I felt so horrible doing the reading, and I really hoped it didn't resonate with as many as it did. But this is talking about defensiveness. This is also talking about having the confidence and being ready to take things on with a challenging, more like view to it. Okay, so although this is on defense, this is saying basically that you've kind of been through enough to be able to take on whatever comes their way. Okay, so I think this is a good card, but it's also very, very understandable considering your monthly reading. Now, in the heart of your reading, you have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords talks about a blunt communication, a message that was received, or a message that was given, or talking in a not talking in a way that is per se like bad, but more one that's very forward and one that's very much, it can kind of hurt in a way. So the Page of Swords is basically like a message that's given to us or given to someone else from us to basically convey a message. And sometimes, of course, like I said, it's not the easiest message to give. It's not the easiest message to freaking receive. And it's crossed by the Five of Swords, okay? So the Five of Swords talks about an empty victory. So perhaps there was a discussion going on, and it kind of left you dissatisfied, or perhaps even some truth that came out, and it left you feeling kind of empty. Like you've gotten what you've wanted, but it was more of it was a kind of brutal way of getting it. And that's pretty much what this Page of Swords is. It's not just the truth, but it's the brutal, honest truth. So perhaps there's a brutal, honest truth that you gave or you received, and it got you somewhere where you kind of feel like it wasn't really worth it in the first place. All right? Or maybe there is a truth that you want to give that's not exactly worth the trouble. Or perhaps or maybe not necessarily worth the trouble, because I don't know. Okay, it's really asking you to look within yourself to figure out exactly if it's worth it for you to even say those things, or if it's worth pretty much taking into account what that person said, if that's their truth, or if it's like truth that their truth that doesn't resonate with you at all. You know what I mean? Now, in the past, there was the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles talks about slow moving energy. Like, it's not stagnant, but it's definitely slow. So you would possibly be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or you guys were moving in a slow, cautious pace, right? So, I mean, considering the monthly reading, not the easiest thing to go through, right? It's understandable that you guys were going through a cycle where you're kind of rebuilding yourself up, taking cautious steps, making sure you're planning ahead, making sure that you see things thoroughly through before you make an action. You could have been dealing with someone else like this, someone that was possibly younger than you, someone that is very mature in some respects, but very slow at sometimes as well. This could be someone that you see as immature, or younger than you, or someone that just kind of has this youthful energy about them, but they act in such a way that's more focused on the practical rather than in the spiritual, emotional, etc. Okay? But I feel like this definitely could be you guys, because considering the monthly reading, and again, this could definitely be someone else that you've seen that was very, very mature in the way they were acting, and they moved in at a rather slow pace. Presently, though, you have the Eight of Swords. So, I mean, thinking about it, like, this person could have came in the past, and it makes you think, right? It kind of makes you feel like, oh man, like, everything is just overwhelming. Or perhaps you guys were moving extremely slow, or you guys were moving at a cautious pace, but it's only because the fears are kind of making you feel that way. And now you guys have hit that static energy where you're not able to move as fast or frivolous as you like, because everything's kind of catching up with you. You're just kind of feeling bogged down. You're not really sure what to do, where to go, because you know, everything just kind of feels so thick, right? In your head, it's foggy. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Like, you really wanted to move in a slow place. You really wanted to be careful, more so than anything. Not move slow per se, but you wanted to be careful. The Seven of Wands talks about defensiveness. So you're not moving slow just to move slow. Y'all are moving slow because you guys needed that time. You needed that space. You needed to be able to see what's going on and use your practical abilities to your, you know, to your best ability right now. But now it's kind of gotten you to that point where you're like, okay, you're doing everything slow, you're doing everything, you know, right, but everything's just kind of catching up and it's kind of being overwhelming. Now, the good thing about the Eight of Swords is the advice with that is it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to think and analyze things. But when it gets to the point where you feel like you can't move any further, you must remember that all those things, everything that you're thinking they're just thoughts. It's more of like an inflamed, cautious voice in your head. The conscience that we have to warn us against things like that. It's pretty much exploded and gotten inflamed, almost like it's got a flu, and it's really cautioning you and making sure that you're safe, making sure that you're all right, because it doesn't want you to get hurt, but at the same time, if it's starting to keep you from moving, it's not really helping you right now, okay? It's not really making you better, if that makes sense. It's not helping your situation. So that voice at the end of the day is just that. It's just trying to protect you. And if it starts to get to the point where it's not helping you, it's not pushing you towards the things that you want, then, or at least getting you somewhere where it's more easier to see and clearer, they're just thoughts. It's time to pretty much say, look, I understand what you're trying to tell me, but I need to be able to do stuff that I need to do without having to be, held back. And then we all do it. I do it all the time, y'all. Okay? Every time I get a little overwhelmed or shocked or something, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? But the good thing is that we have, that conscience, and we can be able to tell it, give that thing a hug. Give that voice a hug, y'all, because, it got hurt with you. It just needs some time. It just needs some time, to get right. You know what I mean? To just, basically remember that everything's okay. You can handle everything that you encounter. The Seven of Wands here, okay? Seven of Wands talks about that. You can handle it. You guys got this. There's no need to worry, okay? So that defensiveness seems like it's kind of really built up here. But the good thing is that y'all have the sun in the future, so that's potential happiness. This is also talking about clarity. You have definitely a brighter outlook in your future. You'll be able to see things clearly, make more decisions, and you'll be moving ahead towards happiness, that warmth that the sun can give off here. I think this is absolutely wonderful. So once you take the blindfolds off and realize that voice is just there to protect you and not actually there to control your actions and keep you from having the joyful life that y'all deserve, you'll be able to see that sun. You'll be able to see the happiness. And like I said, it's understandable why you have the Eight of Swords here. You guys went through one hell of a trip in your your monthly reading. That's nothing to play with or take lightly at all. But we have to be able to take those experiences and put them into something beautiful. The pain that we have, it's okay to just, it's done, it's gone, it's over. It's time to really kind of take back our life and really just do what we need to do here, okay? That voice is just there to protect, okay? Now, your crowning energy is the Empress, okay? So I feel like this is talking about tapping into that Empress energy and being able to work on your manifesting ability, pretty much like saying here that channel your frequency to a level where it has that confidence of the Seven of Wands, knowing that whatever he wants, he'll get. Whatever it's thrown at him, he'll handle. It's manifesting to create the abundance that you guys are looking for. For some of you guys, because Empress is another Taurus card as well, this could be telling you guys to really tap into that Taurus energy of yours. Really kind of be the Taurus that you are. Not necessarily stubborn, because the Empress is not very stubborn. She doesn't, she doesn't do anything, she does whatever she wants, but at the same time, she is not asking you to be into Emperor energy. It's asking you to go into Empress. It's asking you to go into Empress energy. So, with that said, I feel like there is some nurturing and some caring that needs to be done, some TLC. Really having the patience. I really feel like for yourself as well, okay? Perhaps some of you guys need to seek, I guess maybe not seek comfort, but within yourself, but maybe perhaps even really pay attention to who you take care of right now. Because right now, you guys have been through a lot. Some of y'all are moms too. But I think some of you guys really just need to be careful about who you give your attention to, who you give your time to. Because at the end of the day, if it's draining you and keeping you from being able to get what you need, then it's not. Who's going to be able to take care of that person if you're not able to, if that makes sense? And then who's going to take care of you if you're too busy taking care of someone else? So really kind of be sure that if you're helping someone, it's necessary and not just frivolous, because I know y'all, Taurus, you guys are givers, you guys are generous, you guys are sweethearts, okay? I love y'all, but y'all don't need to be giving anybody nothing. If y'all can't be able to, if you guys need that love for yourself, you don't need to be giving that to nobody, okay? And I'm just saying that out of love because I love y'all, okay? Don't be mad at me, all right? But so to summarize your entire reading here, I feel like there were some harsh words said here that kind of resulted in an empty victory. So you got to some place where it's lacking emotional victory. It's lacking that emotional success, if that makes sense. So you feeling like this crap wasn't worth it right now. Like whatever was said, whatever conversation or discussion that was had, you're not feeling too good about it right now. In the past, you were moving slow, you were moving steady, you were kind of getting back on your feet in a slow way, but you're also being cautious and meticulous about how you're doing it. You were planning things out, you're making sure that whatever happened won't happen again. Okay, I feel like that's what you guys also could have been very, dealing with somebody that was very much younger than you, someone else that was a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like somebody definitely immature that you guys were interacting with caused you to be that slow energy, to really, really kind of pay attention very closely to everything. That's kind of someone that kind of got you on your toes. The Seven of Wands being that underlying energy, okay? Now you're kind of, you've been through a lot. You had to deal with a lot. So I feel like it's kind of having to really kind of adjust the mindset and really be able to see through the clouds and see through the worry and see through the fear, because that's kind of what's keeping you static right now. It was a bit of movement in the past, not fast, but it was movement. Now it's just kind of like you feel trapped in your thoughts, and it's only because of, I feel like it's because of what happened in the past. I feel like in regards to the harsh communication, it's keeping you from really making that progress that you want to see yourself make here. But I also see happiness, happily ever after. I feel good when I see the sun, because I mean that the last reading, but the sun, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. The sun is telling me that you guys will have that clarity. You know, there's nothing to fear with the sun, because you can see everything. Everything is just playing out in the open, and you have that warmth and the potential happiness there as well. So I think that as long as you manifest Make sure that, making sure that you get what you deserve out of everything, and really, looking behind the scenes, being sure that who you're taking care of and who you're looking after and who you're really kind of paying attention to or being the caretaker of. Be like, I don't know if you guys are being caretakers, but really taking care of like friends, family, all those things. Really, looking after someone and having that patience. Be sure that, make sure you have that for yourself first. And if the person is not necessarily worthy of it, but someone that, it's not taking away from what you need for yourself, from yourself right now, okay? Or at least for yourself. Now, you guys have calling in your soulmate, okay? And this is saying your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So I feel like this here, going back to the Empress as your, crowning energy, the advice, I feel like definitely, switch, allowing yourself to, feel like you have a chance at happiness. The sun is coming. It's in your future. If you can manifest that warmth in your heart, using images of something wonderful and something grand, I feel like that can bring the sun to you even more. As long as you have that energy in yourself, like the way you feel about something, that's what's going to get it to you. If you have the feeling of how something is, or like, like being cuddled, if you want that, imagine yourself being cuddled. That'll get it to you, okay? That's how the Empress manifests. She wants something, she feels it, and it comes. That's how she gives birth, okay? Anyway, your wisdom of the oracle, you guys have all that glitter. So Aries got this one as well, and it's talking about looking beyond the surface, because the surface is just a mask. You're not really seeing 100% who this person is, right? You're not seeing what you're dealing with in the clearest of light, okay? You can have that, honesty policy, but until you really delve deep into the person that you're talking about, talking to, or, interacting with, that's when you'll be able to see behind all the glitz and glamour, okay? You'll be able to know who this person is in regards to how they operate emotionally and how they operate mentally and things like that, okay? The practical stuff can kind of get in the way sometimes, and I feel like that's what happened with the Ten of Pentacles. He was immature. This person was, he or she, okay? He or she was immature, and they gave off a wonderful looking appearance, but they had some issues in the background. And I think that is one thing that you're worried about. It's like, you don't really know this person, but if you look in there deeply, if you really go in deep, you'll find out this person or the situation might even be better than you thought, or not as bad as you were thinking.